Hi folks, this is Stacy Cobb, and I have a commissioned piece here that I'm working on. And this little stack of stuff, I don't know if I'm going to use it or not, so I'm just going to put it to one side. Get my paintbrushes out of the way. I have these little cards that my cousin gave me. These come from Recipes for the Soul. It's like, you know, the chicken soup for the soul people. Anyway, I have a bunch of these cards. I have literally boxes of them that my cousin gave me, and I just thought, wow, these are kind of cool. And I'm going to see if I can incorporate these also into these journals. Now, let's see. I got this right side too or upside down? This is an outer part that I'm going to put on the journals. I've kind of bound these together already. I guess this is right side up. And I've just got papers in here that I pre-stained a lot of these papers with some coffee. It still kind of smells like coffee, and I've put a magazine picture in. I've left the threads from where I sewed these in together. This is a picture, and I don't know the name of the artist. Sorry, ripped it out of a magazine. Let's see if it says here. Anyway, I just thought it was a cool picture, and it would make a nice centerpiece for these journals. I just cut it out of magazines. Now, it's the first signature. So far, so good. Not really sure what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to cover this with something and add ribbons and bows and maybe some polymer clay items. I make buttons with polymer clay, so I might add something like that in here. Haven't really decided. Haven't decided on the cover, because I will cover this part with cloth and then attach it. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think. And I have two of these. Hi folks, this is Stacy Cobb from Stacy Cobb Art. Thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to share with you a couple of journals that I was commissioned to make. Now, I'm relatively new to making journals, but I absolutely love it. I find it just a really creative process. And at the end, you actually have a usable work of art, something you can use. So these are going to be gifts that my patron has commissioned me for, and she wants to give them as gifts. So I'm going to just give you a flip through and let you see what we have. This one is, the covers are made out of manila file folders, about 3 layers to make it stiff enough. And then this is manila file folder with a stamp on it, and it's been distressed. This is just a card to lift in and out, but you can put a photograph or something that's personal to you. There's been a piece of glittery, I think this is about 1/2 inch tape, ribbon, and it's been covered with cotton cloth. Let's get inside. This particularly glittery ribbon was probably not the best choice because it gets glitter literally everywhere, and it sticks to a lot of things. So this journal belongs to, you can put your name here. Here's a little pocket. It says journal. One of these recipes for the soul card. This one happens to be a moment of kindness, and it's about bringing peace. So that's kind of the theme to this, and here's a little butterfly tag with it empty. So that's page 1. I just used a stamp here that has lettering, an old theater ticket, and a picture out of a magazine. Ripped the edge, distressed. This is tracing paper that's actually been distressed with coffee, and then I distressed the edge. Here we have some distressed looking tags. on ledger paper that I distressed with coffee. And these all just kind of have a garden theme. There's nothing on them other than the stamps. There's 2 pockets. So if you take these 2 out, there's still that. This is actually one of my drawings that I colorized digitally, printed it up, distressed the edges, and wrote in calligraphy, "and perchance to dream." A quote from Shakespeare, of course. This is just distressed notebook paper with stamping on it. This is copy paper that's been distressed with coffee. You want to leave some pages for your patrons to actually write in. You want them to put their ideas and a little bit of their self into their own item. I found these online through Pixabay, and I just thought they were just darling. So this is the Goose Girl and a page out of an old book. I wrote in the seam here, "Be inspired by nature's beauty," and drew a couple little flowers. Some butterfly stamps. This is just a little card I made with a drawing, a painting from a magazine. This is from a magazine, of course, and there's nothing on the back side. This is the centerpiece, which happens to be a portrait. I don't think I wrote down the painter's name. And then this is an envelope I made out of some scrap paper and a little tag to go inside. A little bit of ribbon added for bling. A stamp, and this is distressed paper, and then a piece of distressed paper that I tore the edge, and it's just an area for you to write more stuff. Write more stuff. Another stamp. This one, the page opens out this way, so you have more writing space. And it says, "Be accountable to yourself." I thought that was pretty good with a ledger. And this is the writing stamp. And then I just downloaded photos of old postcards and put them in here as just something to put in here. Ephemera. More distressed paper, of course. This is a ribbon for place holding, an organdy ribbon. Some stamps. And I cut the edge with one of those specialty scissors. Gives you a special edge. Another one of those pictures, and it says, "Be the hero of your own fairy tale." And then this says, "Be happy." Zzz. Lace that I've distressed. This is, it doesn't really show it very well here, but it was stark white, and now it's kind of a beige color. A stamp. Picture that I cut out of a magazine. We're in the second signature. This one I wrote the artist's name because I found it. Cut out these pictures. This was actually downloaded from Pixabay. And a stamp here. Paper, pocket, and a little tag, another pocket, some distressed lace. And here you can see that same lace, and it's even darker. It's kind of a dirty brown. Another little stamp. Some more paper. Another one of these wonderful, wonderful illustrations. I don't know the name of the original artist, and when I find it, I will add that. Stamped a little piece of manila file folder that I cut out. Now, when I distressed this paper, I put down a stencil, and this is one of the better ones, and it showed up with the leaves. So I thought that was pretty cool. Just a stamp with gold on this side. This was fun. I actually drew this out. This is on notebook paper that I distressed with coffee, and then I distressed it with some, what are these called? Distress oxide. two colors. I use vintage and I use ground espresso. And this says treasure map. Start at the Little Devil Tavern in Too Big City. Cross the Great River and get your first clue in Hilldale. Find the store owned by Horace Teagarden in the attic. Find a trunk once owned by Gloria Teagarden. The next part is located within. And here's the map. It was a lot of fun to draw this and just kind of make up stuff. So, and this is another one where I distressed it using a stencil. This is actually one of my original digital paintings, and I just printed it up, distressed the edges, and pasted it within, and then put a stamp on it. This came out of a magazine, an art magazine. It's a nice character study. Look at how ragged the clothes are. Kind of nice that we don't live that way much anymore. A little piece of the next page, I flipped over the edge and it's distressed, so it gives it a little bit of character. And this is just a page out of a really old recipe book, and then I distressed it some more. Photograph, page out of the recipe book, some cardstock. All of it's been distressed and layered to give it a little bit more interest. This says, don't give me attitude. I already have it. A little bit of a stamp here, an envelope, and inside, do we have more paper? Probably. I like to put paper in these, so you have more writing space. I like to journal and I like to write. This is just a border that I saw in a magazine. It was part of an advertisement actually, and I really liked it. Leaves, more distressed paper. And here's an envelope I made with tracing paper that was distressed, and then I put a piece of cardstock with the same stamp as what's on here. And actually this part right here, I had a little snafu, and so I tore it off, and I thought, oh, that looks really cool, so I tore off the edge some more. And then stamped this side before I tore it, and then added a piece of the recipe book and made a couple little pockets with some more of these. These are pretty cool. They'll have, you know, joy, it's possible, and what you'll need is imagination and boldness. Dreams are necessary to life. And then it tells you some simple steps on the back. They're pretty cool. So if you get a chance to see some more or check them out yourself, do so. And we're almost to the end, and here we are. And at the end of everything, we take a little nap. And again, I've signed it. So this is the first one that I did. Here's the second one. Now this one has a little bit different vibe to it. But again, some of this sparkly ribbon, which I got on sale at Michael's. Should have known. Anyway, again, just like the other one, this is covered in a cotton material that I've had for years. And we open this up. This journal belongs to, and it says journal here. I didn't put a pocket on this. This is pretty thick, heavy cardstock, and all I did was color this, distress the edge, and then I added a little butterfly that was cut out of some other material. On the back side, again, distressed it, made a little pocket, downloaded some maps, and added these. Okay, and here's just a map that I downloaded off of Pixabay, and I ripped the edges and distressed it. It says Africa, and it looks like it's had coffee sitting on the edge here. And this is a map, rather like the one I did in the previous journal, where I just drew it on tracing paper. So, for your adventures. Again, a piece of tracing paper. I like the feel of tracing paper when it's distressed. I like the crinkly sound of it. This says, don't forget to write it all down. It has potential to be a brilliant idea. So whatever you're thinking, it might be brilliant. You never know. Here's a pocket, again, with one of my illustrations, just like the other book. And I just downloaded it and then made a couple little pockets and some note cards. Here's some more tracing paper envelope with a little bit of paper within. And this is done on several pieces of newspaper that I attached to the back side of this piece of paper. On the other side, I did some leaf stamps, piece of paper with the coffee stained leaves. And that goes in this pocket. See? And then there's this little pocket, and this is just a tag with some little tiny writing, which actually is in French. So I had a snafu, and this page bit the dust. This was Starlight Swap and Shop. I don't know where the ticket came from. I really don't know. But I found it in one of my drawers, so evidently I must have gone there at one point in time. And distressed it a little bit more and added it in. So it's actually pretty dog-eared. This is the center piece of this particular, actually it should go this way, I think, of this particular signature. And I added a little organdy ribbon just to kind of give the center part a little support. It helps so that these pages don't rip out. A little card that you can write something in, little stamp here, a little pocket, just to give it a little bling. And this is one of those wonderful illustrations that I got off of Pixabay. This is just a little belly band here, be adventurous, a couple of these in these pockets, and a stamp there. This says, if asked why you have a black eye, respond by saying, you should see the other guy. It's true. This is just a little pocket here, just like a peachy, and you can see more of that stamping here. And here's another piece of paper to write on. Some more stamps. I love stamps. This page, it wasn't very distressed. I think it was a little bit like this when I pulled it out of the package, actually. It's old paper. I've had it for years. This is, again, tracing paper. And we're getting towards the end of our signature, and here's a pocket with another one of those wonderful illustrations and just a couple of tags. And this paper, like I said, it's cardstock. It's pretty heavy, and it has this raised pattern. So this, I just distressed it enough to bring the pattern out so you could see it. Add a little bling to the paper and let your dreams take flight. You'll see me use these stamps over and over because I don't really own very many stamps. I love them. I just colored these in with colored pencil and added this, and it says, I'm a rainbow sprinkle in a vanilla world. And I like this illustration, and here's the information on the illustration on top of something I ripped off an old piece of newspaper. And this is from a local magazine, which is called The Reader, actually. And this is an old one from 2019, and it says, stay curious, and I put a couple of these little cards in. This says, a good book is a companion, a great book is a friend. This was cut off of one of those recipes for the soul card. The rest of the card was pretty damaged, so I just saved the picture. And here, this is a coffee filter that I colored. And then a list where you can write down your favorite books. Little flower. How does your garden grow? A little bit of bling. And I wrote here, a little bling makes the heart sing. Favorites in fresh colors, new styles that feel just right, and must-haves that work well in absolutely every season. Came out of a fashion magazine, I think. This was an old ticket to the New Mexico Museum of Art. I went a couple of years ago, so I added that. This is a cupcake, a mini cupcake paper that I flattened out, distressed, punched holes in the edge, added this, added that, old Michael's receipt with a stamp. I took a stencil and stenciled this kind of leopard pattern here and right here. Made a pocket. And just used leftovers for various things. Here's a painting that came out of a magazine. I thought it was beautiful. A good illustration of perspective. Here's my centerpiece. Again, put a piece of ribbon in the center just to help give that thin magazine paper some substance. Cupcake paper, manila file folder with a stamp, all of it distressed. This is the other half of my ticket to the Museum of Art, and a picture of Norman Rockwell's painting, self-portrait, I guess. Oops. And let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, and this is actually a pocket. That's the only pocket, and of course it's a rainbow sprinkle in a vanilla world. I thought that was super colorful and pretty. This actually is the back side. There's the front side. But the back side's kind of cool too. And that's just coffee filter. This is a stamp that I have, this background, and I stamped it, and then I put the belly band, or the pocket, if you will, one of the butterflies I cut out of the tag, put here, some edging snipples, and let your mind wander through the universe. We're getting close to the end here, and I put a pocket in the end, and I made a thing that says notes and letters here, kangaroo stamp, more of the universe stamp, if you will, and this is some paper I had. I took and made a postcard, Mesa Verde National Park, World Heritage Site, and on this side I just stamped it up to look like a card, and I wrote a fake note to a mysterious person whom I don't know. And that's it for these. These were commissioned, both of these were commissioned pieces, and they will be going to people as gifts, and I just wanted to share them with you before they leave my workshop. Thank you for watching. If you're interested in seeing more of my videos, I post a new one every Friday, and I would love to have you here, so please subscribe, hit that notifications bell, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.